And welcome back. Now, the Albuquerque Museum is opening up a brand new gallery next Tuesday, only in Albuquerque, which will feature an interactive, engaging, fun-filled presentation of the history and culture of the Rio Grande Valley. And here with more on what we can all see at their gallery is Museum Director Kathy Wright. Thanks so much for joining us, Kathy.
Thanks for having me.
So this has been a work in progress for a few years now, you were telling me.
Well, it's been in the hearts and minds of people for about 15 years, but we've been in earnest working on it for about 3 years.
That is very cool. Now tell us about the exhibit. What exactly can we expect to see coming and visiting?
Well, the exhibit's about the history of Albuquerque and the Rio Grande Valley, so it's all about us who live here.
Yeah.
And it goes back to 12,000 years.
Wow.
And comes right up into the 21st century.
That is very cool. Now tell me, it's an interactive exhibit. What do you mean by that?
By that we mean that it engages visitors on all different levels. We have traditional exhibit labels, and we have over 500 objects that we tell stories with. We have interactive media, so there are animated storybooks for children, there are hands-on activities for people. So it has a lot of different elements.
Yeah. Tell me more about the objects. Is that something like little bits and pieces you've collected over the last
Over a long time, yeah. We've collected for many years with kind of this new exhibit in mind. And so a lot of those stories are reflected in the exhibit.
What do you think is one of the most interesting parts of the exhibit?
Well, I think for us, there's a couple of things. One is that the stories are told through characteristics of people, and so there are galleries that talk about spirited innovation, courage, and resourcefulness. And so all of the stories in the exhibit are told with those themes in mind.
Yeah.
And it makes it resonate and more relevant for visitors.
It's true. Is there something maybe you would think would surprise a lot of us at home kind of coming to visit the exhibit?
Well, I think people will be interested in the different levels of activities and how you can participate in the exhibit.
Yeah.
At the end of the exhibit, we have a story booth that people will be able to leave their own story on that will get recycled back into the exhibit.
That is very cool. And like we were talking about during the break, you guys have been kind of thinking about this for the last 15 years, and it kind of took into shape for the last 3 years, but it's not going to stop once it opens next Tuesday.
That's right. The exhibit is a long-term exhibit, but it will change over the years. And another exhibit area that we have is a temporary exhibit area where we can focus on the community's stories in a more deep way.
Okay, and this opens next Tuesday, correct?
It does, and it has a unique feature in it in that we have an Albuquerque Museum app, and you can actually use the app in the exhibit to access more information on the objects and the people's stories.
Yeah.
And we have a map on the floor that you can access history hotspots.
So super easy. You kind of laid it all out for us, and really just got to go and have that open mindset to learn about, and really this is something that affects each and every one of us when it comes to the history.
It is.
of
We hope that
Albuquerque.
people will really be able to find themselves in the exhibit.
And it's interesting to just kind of know what it was like years and years ago in the home that we call home every day. As far as reservations, do we need to make any reservations with you?
Well, yes, we think we might be a little bit busy the first few weeks
I
of
think
the
so
exhibit.
too.
So we're asking people to make reservations, and you can do that at our website, on the city's website at cabq.gov/museum.
Okay, and is that something like you reserve half hour or so?
Right, the time periods are about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And there's several of them during the day, so you can sign up for a certain time period.
And how long will this exhibit be around at the museum?
Well, it is going to be an ongoing exhibit, but it has a lot of elements that will change as people tell their stories in the story booth.
Yeah.
Those stories will be integrated back into the exhibit, and we'll have other things that change over time.
Okay, and what is your personal favorite of the entire exhibit?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. We have 4 theaters in the exhibit that tell the stories of spirit, innovation, courage, and resourcefulness, and they're just awesome.
Yeah. Is this something that all ages can attend? You can bring the kiddos to?
It's what's great about the exhibit is that it does reach all levels of ages, and there are actually storybooks in each gallery that kids can go through and pick up and watch an animated cartoon about history.
That is very cool. I think, yeah, you're definitely appealing, I think, to all ages. And like we were talking about, it's just cool to know. Like, we have been around for a while, but life is different.
It is different, and it's changed a lot. And Albuquerque had some really significant things that happened, and people should be proud of the things that happened in Albuquerque and how they're part of the national view of this country.
Absolutely. So again, real quick, that starts next Tuesday and goes for an extended period of time. So you do have some time, but if you want to go within the first few weeks or so, you definitely want to make some reservations. You can see the admission right there. So very interesting. Thanks so much, Kathy, for joining us. You don't want to miss that. All right, for more information on that, go ahead and visit our website, krqe.com. We'll be right back.